Hey everyone, welcome back. Welcome. It is Tuesday, May 12th, 2020. I'm Dave Guerra. This is Let's Have a Chat About Leadership. And this is the show where I remind you that everyone is either a leader or a future leader. And together we're going to work on making all leaders better. Why? Because you know and I know we have a leadership problem. So let's get to work. Today is Tuesday, and what we talk about on Tuesdays is leadership in the news. Leadership in the news. And today's episode, what I want to talk about, well, it's kind of, again, addressing and kind of sticking with the theme that I started yesterday, but it addresses the post-pandemic life. After we've been given the all clear, it's back to work, let's go 100%, let's make it happen, is everybody is now chiming in on how long it's going to take for businesses to recover. And in CNN Business, quote, the article title, "Here's When the U.S. Job Market Will Recover," and it's by Matt Egan. He posted that up last week. And a really interesting little article, and really dives in and does ask questions to other organizations when, he's actually asking other financial institutions when they believe things will get back to normal. And a lot of them are saying it's going to take a couple of years or longer. See, I don't buy into that. But then again, I say it'll take at most a couple of years to be fully up to speed. And I'll show you why. I'll share that with you why at the back end. It's because, well, in the article it talks about it was like a sudden light switch was flipped off. Everything stopped. The economy stopped. Businesses stopped. There was no money coming in. There was no way to pay anybody. So how can you pay somebody if there's no money coming in? So it all stopped. So employers now are going to basically reevaluate when they get that all clear. They're going to reevaluate when they start up again and who gets to come back, because maybe they were a little tight to begin with, and now it might be that they can actually start trimming down. And this could be one of those blessings in disguise for the employers. Now, for those that don't get to come back, well, it's not a blessing in disguise, but this is also that opportunity, that time in space, that time in time, that moment in time where it's like we need to start realizing that, hey, just like my job could be easily turned away and said, Dave, we're going to let you go. Someone else's job, because again, for whatever reason, they're in that position. They've studied, they've gone to school, they've put in their 2,000 hours of whatever they needed to get certified, and now they're cut loose because there's just too many people, not enough people, whatever the situation. And it could be that this is the time to trim down because they're anticipating that long term before they get back to pre-COVID-19 job rates. The pre-19, very, very low job rate. Now we're in double digit percentage job loss. So it's crazy, but it's definitely something that it needs to be thought about today. I know it's still going on. We have not been given the all clear, but that moment that all clear is given, guess what? How are you going to land on your feet when the time comes? Bank of America was asked, and they said we're now at about just under 15% unemployment, and 15% unemployment, 85% employment, and they anticipate that by the end of 2021, Bank of America is saying this, 7.5%. So we'll gain back that 7.5%, or that half of what we are at right now in jobs, returning jobs. But we won't get to the pre-crisis level until 2022. So there we go, 2 years from now, which is kind of in line with what I'm thinking. But I'm thinking it's going to be higher than the 7.5 by the end of 2021. And then, but then again, it also has a lot to do with the election. It has a lot to do with who comes in and what they bring to the dinner table, to the buffet table, and who eats, who doesn't, who gorges themselves, who starves themselves, and it's more of what they can do. So even if we continue with the same president, then we get the all clear. Now if that president, worked so hard and worked to get the numbers where they are now, can he do it again? Or where they were prior to the crisis, can he get them again? And the same thing with anybody that comes in new. A lot of them, you hear them now. You hear a lot of those candidates now saying that, hey, I have a plan, I have this, I have that. Well, why are you not implementing it now? Why are you not fighting for it now? That way, come election day, you have a proven track record. That's my question. So again, not to get too political, but it is a valid question, is why are you holding it and holding the nation hostage until election day? And what happens on election day if it comes out that you do not win? Do you continue withholding that information, or do you put it out there? This is how we're going to save America. Even though I lost, here's my contribution to saving America. Will those candidates do that? Something to think about. JP Morgan predicts 10 plus years. JP Morgan Finance, 10 plus years. That is a long time for the country, not just the economy, but for the country to get back up to speed. No, it won't take that long. PNC Financial Services, that's out of Pittsburgh. PNC Financial Services, slower. It'll be a little bit slower. 3 to 4 years is what they're saying. So it's kind of, interesting. But the good thing here is, and well, it's bad also, but again, it's those, and if you've watched any of my shows in the past, or you've read any of my blog posts, or you've seen, listened to any of my podcasts, there's one thing it's been consistent, well, 2 things I've been consistent about. Thing number 1, change. Change is coming, change is here, change will always be happening, and you have got to prepare for change. Don't let it blindside you. 2, don't let it blindside you. And as a lot of people have found out, they don't have a rainy day fund. And folks, I'm here to tell you right now, my rainy day lasted for a year, almost to the day, but it was a year, an entire 12 months, my rainy day. Luckily I had saved, luckily I had invested, luckily I had funds. But it was getting down there. It was getting down to where it was going to be, half a can of beans, that kind of situation. But I was lucky that I did plan. I had that foresight. I was practicing what I preach. I walked my talk. And now I'm getting back at that again. I'm getting back to that level again. Luckily, I have a job, and that's a good thing, and still have it, and that's a good thing. But for those that didn't have a rainy day fund, guess what? Now's the time to start, because guess what? It's going to rain. It will rain in your life. One day, one time, it will rain. And whether it lasts a month, 2 months, 6 months, or a year, you need to be prepared for it. You definitely need to be prepared for it. And by the same token, what other skills are you honing? What other skills are you learning? What new craft are you developing for yourself? That when this happens again, you have something else to fall back. You have a second or third or fourth or even fifth or sixth stream of income coming in. What else are you doing? If you don't have that, again, it's all for naught. It's all for naught. And that's not a good thing, folks. So be prepared.